Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're taking a look at the Rage Spell, which was changed in the recent update to only cost 2 elixir, which makes it a lot easier to afford on a push. Now, two things I want to point out about this deck that I came up with. One, it doesn't have any defenses in it, like a cannon or an Inferno Tower, and two, there is no elixir pump in there, which you normally see paired up with a giant deck, but I figured with the elixir cost only being 3.1, I can get away with not having a pump in the deck. Now, before we go to some replays, let's go ahead and open up this giant chest very fast here. Getting some gold, and a prince, not too bad there. Elixir collector, not too bad. And then finally finishing off with 272 minions. But let's go ahead and take a look at some replays, and then we'll finish off with a live battle. So here we are, guys, facing off against someone using the Lava Hound miner strategy, which I've been seeing a ton of people using recently. It's definitely growing in popularity. Now, all these battles, as well as the live battle, were in the new challenge mode tournaments, by the way. My opponent got to go ahead, start out with the pump in the back left corner. I'm going to start doing a slow push with the giant in the left hand lane, and as you can see, I do have the fireball selected. I was debating whether to use it on the tower and damage the pump as well, but I wanted to wait to see if my opponent dropped down any additional support troops by the tower that I could potentially hit with the fireball as well. But he ends up using the princess on the right hand side, so I choose to fireball the princess as well as the tower because I wanted to use minions to support my giant, and I didn't want the princess shooting across the arena. But in the end, he used the fireball anyways. Now I know he's pretty low in elixir. Gonna go ahead and use the Rage Spell, and even though the giant makes it to the tower with only 20% of his health left, he was able to do about 1,000 damage to that tower with the Rage Spell. Definitely a pretty good push right there. But my opponent's setting up a Lava Hound push on the right hand side, and take a look at the hand that I have right here. Not really any good cards to defend against a Lava Hound push. Now looking back at it, I probably should have done an immediate counter push in the opposite lane with maybe my giant, the mini P.E.K.K.A, as well as an Ice Spirit, but I decided to use the giant on the same lane as the Lava Hound, just to distract any support troops that he might have dropped down behind the Lava Hound. But he doesn't drop anything for quite a while. Lava Hound makes it to the tower, getting a bit of chip damage done. Princess attacking my giant. Gonna go ahead and try and do a counter push right here with the mini P.E.K.K.A in the back. The Ice Spirit to freeze his mini P.E.K.K.A, allowing my mini P.E.K.K.A to win the trade. Fireball going down to take out his princess as well as the minions. And the mini P.E.K.K.A is able to make it to the tower, getting one hit off, bringing it all the way down to 1,500 health. But his lava pups did work to my tower, bring it down to 1,200 health. And not only that, my opponent has been developing a pretty big elixir advantage with all the pumps. He's going to drop down another pump here on the left hand lane. Now I have a good damage lead so far because both of his towers are sitting at about 1,500 health, and if in the event that we trade towers, I had the advantage by having the second tower already down pretty low. Setting up another slow push on the left hand side with the giant. Gonna go ahead and support him with the mini P.E.K.K.A way in the back, just because the mini P.E.K.K.A walks faster than a giant, and I want the mini P.E.K.K.A to meet the giant at the bridge. Musketeer going down to counter the Lava Hound. Now he drops in his miner to take out my Musketeer, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the minions to save my Musketeer, hopefully, but in the end it doesn't really work out. Gonna go ahead and use the mini P.E.K.K.A to counter the princess. Rage Spell, raging out the giant, doing a ton of damage to his tower, bringing it all the way down to 213 health, and all I need is maybe one fireball to finish off that tower. Musketeer going down to defend against the mini P.E.K.K.A, with minions going down to distract his minions, because at this point in the battle, I want to prevent any further chip damage on my tower as I can. Giant going up on the left hand side, gonna ignore him and focus solely on defense here on the right hand side. Ice Spirit freezing the Lava Hound. Musketeer going down, but I mispredict the location of the miner, but thankfully the giant was able to give me the 1 crown lead, and my opponent didn't have enough time left to finish off my tower. So let's go ahead here to the next replay. So here we go, guys, facing off against a Hog Rider deck. Now my opponent's gonna start doing a slow push on the right hand side with a bomber behind his king tower, so I'm gonna counter with my Musketeer on the exact same lane behind my king tower. I don't want to use her any closer to the bridge, because I want the Musketeer to meet his bomber directly at the bridge and out of range of his crown tower, and as soon as the Musketeer gets closer to the bridge, I'm actually going to protect her with a giant up front, hopefully to save her from any splash damage from that bomber. So bomber attacking my giant with the Musketeer in the back, taking her out. Ice Spirit going down with the minions in the back, and the Ice Spirit minion combo is a great way to save your Musketeers from a mini P.E.K.K.A, as you can see right there. Gonna go ahead and use the Rage Spell, minions doing work to the tower with the giant, and they're actually able to give me the 1 crown lead, pretty quickly in this battle, and in a couple of moments, my opponent's going to try and do a counter push in the opposite lane with a quick Hog Rider attack. Going to go ahead and use the Mini P.E.K.K.A as well as the Ice Spirit to freeze it. And with the Ice Spirit freezing the Mini P.E.K.K.A, I don't even need the cannon to distract it. Mini P.E.K.K.A taking out the Hog Rider as well as the Bomber. And at this point in the battle, my opponent actually gives up and leaves the battle. So I'm going to go ahead and start setting up the final push to get that 3-crown victory. Now, without any Elixir Pump in this deck, the playstyle is a bit different. Typically, with an Elixir Pump in a deck, you want to play defensively the first 2 minutes of a battle and build up as many pumps as you can, and then in the double Elixir period, that's when you start being aggressive and going for those overwhelming pushes. But without a pump in the deck, you can be aggressive through the entire battle and set up pushes anytime you want. And without a defense in this deck, you have to come up with some creative solutions to take out enemy giants as well as Hog Riders and stuff like that. My favorite combo is using the Ice Spirit to freeze a Hog Rider and then using the Mini P.E.K.K.A, and together you can often take out a Hog Rider without any hits to your tower, and the benefit of that is that your Mini P.E.K.K.A will go back on a counter push for you, whereas a defense like a cannon will not. Now, Giant making to the tower with the Ice Spirit dancing behind, finally getting the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead to another replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a Hog Rider miner strategy. Now, I'm going to wait till I hit 10 Elixir before I make my opening move. My opponent is going to start out by doing a slow push on the right-hand side with that Musketeer. So I'm going to counter by using a slow Giant push on the exact same lane. And I kind of thought about maybe using the Fireball to damage that tower as well as the Musketeer. But I figured it'd be too much Elixir invested early on in this battle. Now my opponent's going to do an immediate counter push in the opposite lane with the Miner as well as the Hog Rider. And unfortunately, my Mini P.E.K.K.A is way at the back of my card rotation. So I'm forced to use the Ice Spirit, the minions, as well as the Musketeer. And in the process, I spent all of my Elixir, so I had nothing left available to support my Giant push on the right-hand side. And I also took several hundred damage to my tower on the left-hand lane. So pretty unfortunate start to this battle. Now he has a pretty strong counter push coming here. Gonna go ahead and use the Mini P.E.K.K.A to soak up all those Fire Spirits as well as finish off the Musketeer. And thankfully he uses his cannon to counter my Mini P.E.K.K.A, which means later on when I go for a Giant push, he probably won't have it available to distract my Giant. So as soon as I hit 10 Elixir, gonna start doing a slow push on the right hand side with that Giant, but this time I'll be ready for his Hog Rider push. So Giant going down behind my King Tower. As you can see, I do have the Ice Spirit selected, just waiting for that counter push on my left-hand tower. And in a couple seconds here, he's going to go on with the Hog Rider, and I will have the Ice Spirit available to distract it. So Ice Spirit going down to distract the Hog Rider with the minions as well as the Musketeer. Now notice the location of that Musketeer, using her on the right-hand side of the arena, because that way she'll still be able to finish off the Hog Rider, but after the Hog Rider is dead, she'll go back on a counter push to support my Giant. And with the Rage spell as well as the Zap spell, my Musketeer is able to kill the Miner and then go on to do some good damage for me on that tower. And with one counter push, we bring his tower all the way down from full health down to 353 health. Now he's got a Musketeer coming back at me here, but instead of using my Mini P.E.K.K.A this time, I'm going to use the Ice Spirit to freeze it, because I want to keep my Mini P.E.K.K.A in cycle with his Hog Rider. So pretty clutch defense. We have a pretty strong damage lead so far with that one counter push. Setting up another slow push here on the right hand side. And once again, he's coming with the counter push. Gonna go ahead and use the Fireball to take out all those minions with the Mini P.E.K.K.A to take out the Hog Rider. And the great thing with that is he's forced to spend more Elixir on the left hand lane defending against the Mini P.E.K.K.A, which gives me free access to the tower on the right hand side. Now he drops down another Hog Rider. Gonna go ahead and use the Ice Spirit to freeze it once again with the Mini P.E.K.K.A to take it out. Giant going up there, taking out the cannon. Zap spell, allowing my Musketeer once again to take out the Miner. And here we are getting the 1 crown lead. And with only 26 seconds left, I have a choice here. I could either defend up and wait for the 1 crown victory, or try and go for the second tower just for fun. Gonna go ahead and use the Giant to support my Musketeer. Now my Musketeer with the crown tower help is able to kill his with 1 health left, setting up a strong counter push here. Rage spell going down. Minion still alive, taking out his minion horde. Giant doing work to his tower, and with only a couple seconds left, I'm able to take out the other tower, giving myself the 2 crown victory. Let's go ahead here and do a live battle. So here we go, guys. We are facing a level 8. Give him the all good luck. I kind of feel bad that he's a level 8, but obviously I had no control over that. So he's going to start using the pump. Let's start a push here on the left-hand side. Now, let's see here. We'll wait a couple seconds and then maybe use the Mini P.E.K.K.A in the back for support with an Ice Spirit up front. So Mini P.E.K.K.A right there. We are gonna need to Fireball his... We Fireball all this. Do that. Ice Spirit for support. There we go. Unfortunately, my Ice Spirit got caught in that devastation there. But doing work here. Should I rage? Let's rage this up right here. Here we go. And even though he says well played, I think it's kind of an unfair fight because he is a level 8 and I am a level 9. And some of his card levels are lower than mine, like his Mega Minion is only level 6. So I do have the advantage in this battle. Please do keep that in mind, but obviously it is out of my control. So we're going to keep the pressure on with another push, and this is the advantage of having no pump in your deck, is you can go offense all the time if you want to. Musketeer in the back to take out his Mega Minion if he drops it down, and we're going to wait for the Witch to lock onto the Giant first. Before we do anything, let's go ahead and do this with a Mini P.E.K.K.A. There we go. Ice Spirit to freeze that, because it's obviously going for a Musketeer. There we go. Now hopefully, is he using the Rage as well? He's rocking the Rage as well. There we go. Now the Musketeer will die to the Witch, but I'm going to ignore her because she's not high enough in health that she poses much of a threat. And maybe we'll just try and go for the 3 crown. Actually, let's just play it safe. Sometimes I just try it super aggressively and go for a 3 crown victory and end up losing a battle where I should have won. So let's see here. Giant going up on the right hand side. Musketeer to support. Now, he's setting up a counter push on the opposite lane. Fireball hitting my Musketeer, but thankfully at tournament standards, your Musketeer can't be one-shot by a Fireball. If you have a max level Musketeer, for tournament standards, you can't get one-shot like it can in ladder. So defending there on the right hand and the left hand side. Let's go ahead and Fireball all this for fun. Minions to take out the Mega Minions. Come on, there we go, with a Mini P.E.K.K.A. and Ice Spirit this. And once the Mini P.E.K.K.A. takes that out, we're going to use a Giant right here to distract everything. Use a Zaspel, take that out. And then Mini P.E.K.K.A. take out the... nope, Giant going down to save it. Was hoping the... Let's just rage this up for fun here, though. Ice Spirit to freeze some stuff. There we go, guys, getting the victory. But I did have the level advantage there, so keep that in mind. Anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.